For centuries, human perception has been explained through the lens of the five classical senses: sight, hearing, taste, smell, and touch. These senses were believed to capture the totality of our interactions with the external world. But this framework, elegant and enduring, may now be outdated. Emerging discoveries in neurobiology and microbiome science suggest that the gut itself functions as a sensory organ, equipped with the ability to detect, interpret, and respond to signals that were previously invisible to our understanding of perception. This opens a profound philosophical and biological question. Should microbial detection and internal chemical sensing be formally recognized as a human sense? And if so, how would that reshape our understanding of consciousness, behavior, and bodily awareness? Biologically, the case is compelling. The gut hosts a vast ecosystem of microbes that not only aid digestion but also generate neuroactive compounds, communicate with the immune system, and influence brain function. What transforms the gut from a processing organ into a sensory one is the presence of neuropod cells, specialized epithelial cells that detect nutrients and microbial metabolites and relay this information directly to the brain via fast synaptic connections on the vagus nerve. These cells respond to subtle biochemical cues, such as glucose, amino acids, short-chain fatty acids, and even bacterial proteins like flagellin, with a speed and specificity rivaling any of the classical senses. Moreover, these signals don't remain isolated within the digestive system. They affect mood, attention, cravings, appetite, pain sensitivity, and even decision-making. This isn't just feedback, it's real-time perception, an embodied awareness of internal chemical states, often occurring below the threshold of conscious thought yet shaping what we choose to do, eat, or feel. The gut can sense whether an environment is nourishing, dangerous, toxic, or inflamed. And it can respond in a coordinated fashion, adjusting hormone release, immune tone, and neural activity accordingly. From a philosophical perspective, this challenges the rigid boundary between exteroception, the five classical senses, and interoception, our internal sense of bodily state. The gut's microbial detection capacity straddles both realms. On one hand, it is internal, monitoring the contents of the gastrointestinal tract. On the other hand, it is acutely responsive to external factors: diet, pathogens, stress, social behavior, environmental toxins, even time of day. Its sensory field is not just the body, it is the world, refracted through the lens of microbial activity. Traditional senses inform us about the physical world: light, sound, texture, chemicals in the air. But the gut informs us about the biological compatibility of that world with our own physiology. Is this food safe? Is this environment triggering inflammation? Is this nutrient profile ideal for long-term survival? The gut doesn't need to see or hear to answer these questions. It has its own language: chemical gradients, microbial signatures, metabolic shifts. And it speaks that language fluently, sending signals to the brain that are interpreted as hunger, discomfort, satiety, anxiety, or well-being. If we accept that a sense is a system capable of detecting specific stimuli and converting them into neural information that influences perception or behavior, then the gut, especially via its microbial interface, meets the criteria. It has receptors, transducers, neural pathways, and cognitive impact. It even demonstrates plasticity, becoming more or less sensitive depending on experience, diet, and disease. In some ways, it is more dynamic and adaptable than many of the traditional senses. Recognizing the gut as a sensory organ also has implications for medicine, psychology, and ethics. Disorders of the gut, such as IBS, obesity, eating disorders, or chronic inflammation, might be reinterpreted not just as dysfunctions of digestion, but as malfunctions of perception. The individual may not be sensing internal states accurately, leading to misaligned behaviors or emotional responses. In this light, healing the gut becomes not just a mechanical fix, but a restoration of perceptual clarity, a kind of neurochemical eye surgery for the visceral brain. In the future, we may see the rise of sixth sense therapies aimed at recalibrating gut-based perception, microbial transplants, targeted probiotics, vagal nerve stimulation, dietary reprogramming, and biofeedback techniques designed to enhance gut-brain communication. These won't just improve digestion. They may help people feel more emotionally grounded, metabolically balanced, and behaviorally aligned. In the end, rethinking the five senses is not about undermining an old model, it's about expanding it. The gut doesn't replace the eye or ear, but it adds a dimension of internal knowing that may be just as crucial to our survival and identity. The microbial detection system, fast, fluid, and deeply entangled with cognition, deserves recognition not only in science, but in the philosophy of mind. It reminds us that perception is not just about what's out there, but also about what's within, and how those two realities are in constant, microbial conversation.